Good day, welcome to the Whiskey Lover Society, and today we're going to make something different. Stepping away from the whiskey, but not of course forgetting about the whiskey. So in this one we're going to make a little bit something spicy, some hot sauce with a twist. Now I've made some fermentation. This is about a 3-month chili fermentation. Red habaneros, red Thai chilies or bird's eye chilies. There's a little bit of garlic in here, and there is some black garlic, white garlic. I fermented it for 3 months. I put it through a blender, and I added a little bit of vinegar to make it a little bit stable. It is hot. The habaneros is definitely coming through. Yeah, there's a definite bite in the air when you open up the bottle. It's not a lot of vinegar. I don't like a lot of vinegar in my sauces, so this is something that I love to make. And today I want to add a little bit of spice to it and make it a little bit sweet as well with a different ingredient. And the ingredient that I'm going to add to this one is some dried apricots that I just bought at the store. So mixing the two, I'm going to put this in a little bit of hot water, so to soften it up, to make it easier to blend in the end. So that is going to be my hot sauce with a dried apricot twist. To start the hot sauce off, I'm going to add a little bit of water to a pot, and I'm going to add some of the apricots, where the sweet is come from. This is 250 grams of apricots, and I'm just going to let it soften a little bit before I add the rest of the ingredients. And after that I'm going to use a stick blender to puree it. As you can see, it's boiling nice, so I will let it boil for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, just to make sure that it's quite soft, so that it blends easier. So give it enough time, don't use too much water. We don't want the sauce to be watery, so I will just keep on adding a little bit of water to make sure that it's soft. And if there is some residual water left, I will then cook it off. Of course, this is the Whiskey Lover Society, and you can't make anything without adding a little bit of whiskey. And in this case, I'm picking the following: a nice Kulila 12-year-old whiskey, a little bit of smokiness to it. So that is going to be my third ingredient. And for my fourth ingredient, just to bring out a little bit of a smoke, more than just the whiskey, I'm going to add a little bit of liquid smoke. Not much, maybe 2 or 3 drops of liquid smoke, to bring out a little smokiness in the sauce. So it's going to be hot, sweet, spicy, with a hint of smoke or campfire to it, and the whiskey is going to just to give it a little bit of added flavor to it. You can see almost all the water has evaporated. Do not throw the water away. Be patient. Make sure that the water is gone. Then I would add my chilies. And I don't want to put too much chilies on it, So I would use maybe 2 cups of my chili sauce. I don't want it too spicy. And remember, it's to keep on stirring it. And give it some time to warm up. And yeah, it's up to you of how much sauce you want, how hot you want it. So if you don't want it too hot, you can start off with your chili base that is not too hot. You can smell this is a really hot chili. The fumes that comes off is toxic. So I would always recommend to open up your doors, use your extractor fan. Unfortunately, I cannot do it because my extractor fan makes a lot of noise, but the fumes are really strong. And this is the time to add a little bit of whiskey. As I said, I'm using the 12-year-old Colila, which is a smoky whiskey, so I'm going to add a little bit of this whiskey. Not much, maybe 200 milliliters, maybe less, maybe about 100 milliliters, just to give it a little bit of a smoky taste. You're not going to taste the whiskey, but immediately in the fumes you get that nice hit of the smoky whiskey. So give that a little bit of time so that we can get rid of the alcohol. And it's nice alcohol whiskey. You get the smokiness, really nice smells coming from it. And as a last ingredient, the smoke. And in the smoke, I'm only going to put a little bit. Only about 5 drops of this liquid smoke. And that's it for my apricot hot sauce. So I'm going to turn it down so that it doesn't boil so rapidly. Keep on stirring so that it doesn't burn on the bottom of your pot. I will let it cook for very slow. I will cook it for another 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure that all the flavors mix and make sure that all the alcohol is gone. So see you in 10 minutes time. So after 10 to 15 minutes, I use the stick blender and I mix up everything. And of course here it's all up to you. If you want to have it a thick paste, don't try to blend it too much. Leave a little bit of chunkiness to it. Give it a good mix. Make sure that it's to your liking. And then what you can do, if you want to make it a little bit more runny, you can add some vinegar to it. And of course, when we are done with the hot sauce or the chutney that I made, we have to taste it. So quick rundown of some of the ingredients. We start with the chilies. I had the habanero chilies, the red habaneros. We have the bird's eye or the Asian bird's eye chilies. Not very strong, but in combination with the habanero chilies, it is quite hot. The last ingredient that I want to mention, of course, is the whiskey, the Kalila 12-year-old, for that additional smoky flavor. Of course, this is optional extra. You don't have to add the whiskey. I do like the extra smokiness of the chutneys. Without, as you can see, I took a little bit of a sample, and now it's for the tasting. Cheers. There is some heat, not much, I think about 5 or 6 out of 10. There's a nice acidity with the apple cider vinegar that I added. If you don't want it too sour, I would suggest you add maybe a tablespoon of sugar if you want it a little more sweet. I don't like it that sweet. It is really nice. The apricot is a little bit toned down. Not a lot of taste on it, but you do get the sweetness of the apricots. Of course, you can also use dried peaches. I think that will be also fantastic. Dried plums or prunes. That will also work fantastic in this one. So thank you for watching. Try it, it's nice, and remember to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.